So, sir, I've been listening to your show. Not only that, you've been doing a lot of appearances, specifically lately, on a lot of other podcasts. Tinfoil Hat, I believe, being one of them. My family thinks I'm crazy, being another one. And there's things that you've talked about that get censored right away. And I have these same conversations with people like family, friends, acquaintances, and they just look at me like I'm crazy. So let's just jump into it. What is the origin story of it, and don't spare any details, please.
Um, way back, I quit corporate life for good. I'd finally had enough, and I decided I was going to dust off my telescope and start filming, or well, using it. And the first night that we used it, we saw all kinds of unusual things. So I got the tools that I needed to hook a camera up to it, and I just started going night and day, filming and catching everything I could. And I accidentally shot what's now called the lunar wave in 2012. A year later, I posted it and everything changed. That's where it all began. The flat earth movement started exactly 30 days after I posted that clip, and everyone was referencing it. And I basically was thrust on the world stage at that point.
Correct. So what do you think was the whole scheme behind it, of lying to us about going to the moon? Was it just to keep us distracted? Usually, like, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, so they're distracting us with the moon mission when really they're doing something else.
Well, it's doing a few things. It keeps us foundationally based in error because we believe in things that are incorrect. It convinces us that there are people in this world that have a hell of a lot more ability and power than they do. It does any number of things. For all we know, it was also covering up things that they were doing that they didn't want people seeing. You've got to realize that at the beginning of the 60s, the world changed. And this idea of false news, I mean, actually truly false news, just not some nonsense they put a label on now because they don't like what's being said. I'm talking about truly factually made up lying news. That became a big thing in the 60s. And we had a trifecta right as the moon landing. It was the moon, Manson, and Woodstock, back to back to back, mind manipulation events. And it's been the greatest hits ever since.
So do you believe that Paul McCartney died, and that this person that's so-called portraying Paul McCartney?
I think it's pretty well been demonstrated. I don't think it's about belief anymore. Enough research has been done that anyone can go look at the facts. Yeah, the guy we got now is not the Paul we started with, but we could ask, how many doubles were there for any of those world figures? How many Lennons were there on the stage? I don't know. It's been pretty proved that they can swap out one of the most famous people in the world right in front of your eyes. They did it with McCartney. I saw an interview not too long ago. One of the guys in Oasis was so excited to meet Paul McCartney. He'd been reading all the books about the Beatles. And after the interview, he said something to the effect of, "I know more about the Beatles than Paul McCartney does."
No way.
It's a put up. Our whole world of entertainment is a put up. And in the same way that technology in our era is becoming primarily a tool of control, of tracking and control, entertainment has not been our friend in the way we think it has been. We've worshiped people we probably shouldn't have been worshiping. I grew up, music was the lion's share of my life was devoted to music. I remember saying things like, you know what, there's this album called Breakfast in America by a little known band, and it's so underrated. People should, hear this music. Well, that album is poking us in the eye because it's a pre-announcement of 9/11, even in the album art. It's all there.
What band is this?
Supertramp put out the album Breakfast in America. I guess they were going to break their fast on the morning of 2001. It was recorded in a Masonic studio. You see it. Just go look at the album art. Plenty of people have shown 9/11 is hidden backwards in the name Supertramp. You flip the album around or look at it in a mirror, you can see it's all right there with the Twin Towers. The Statue of Liberty is made fun of. She becomes a waitress with an orange glass of orange juice named Libby.
Yeah, you become desensitized. Well, I mean, I think we are desensitized currently. At least most of us are, and particularly the youth with all the video games and all the killings in the video games.
Yeah, right. How many kill shots has the average 16-year-old had? How many times have they said with their voices, kill him, shoot him, frag him, snipe him? The words have meaning, actions have meaning. And the children have been convinced that, oh, these are just pixels, but actions are actions and thoughts are thoughts. They're measurable in this world. Jason and I did a show on a guy who got so fed up working for the gaming community, and the final straw was there was a zombie movie with all these horrible sounds. What they did is they went to a slaughterhouse and they recorded pigs being killed, and they put that in as the soundtrack of a game for children about zombies. These things have an effect over time, and you're right, it does more than desensitize you. It's a little bit mind warping because there's also the side effect of people who've watched too many Hollywood movies think if you stab someone with a knife, they just fall down dead in the corner. If you shoot someone in the stomach, they fall down dead in the corner. That's not how it works in the real world. In the real world, it's a horror story, and that is not the end of things. That's just where the suffering begins. And so video games are another way of desensitizing violence in a way it's quite astonishing that so many parents are okay with it.
Cryptocurrency, I don't trust it. Is there something wrong with me? Because everybody seems to be jumping on the wagon and I'm not.
Cryptocurrency is another ploy to capture and control human beings. It has zero value. And while someone might say neither does paper money, that's true, but it still is a physical object that you can possess. If you had it in your pocket, it's yours. But there is still the severed link back to gold and silver. Now, gold and silver actually have real intrinsic value. They always have in this world. And by the way, they're made by the creator. Crypto, the day we go to cryptocurrency, and a lot of people are going to, every time I say this, someone's going to get mad. So what I'll tell you is this is my point of view. I will never use cryptocurrency because of my spiritual beliefs. That's my choice. Now, all you people who are about to yell, you get to have your own choice because we have free will. I just told you what I'm doing with my free will. The day we go to cryptocurrency, from my point of view, everyone will have admitted that wealth has no value. In other words, a guy selling gold eagles or gold coins would be out of his mind at that point to sell you a gold coin for cryptocurrency. And what crypto is it's a control. It'll be if we go to the full digital dollar, which is, I'm assuming, the one that they're going to try to put in place, it will be the largest loss of freedom in the history that I'm aware of.
Okay, because the reason why I'm saying that is because I have friends, family, all that. They're all into this whole crypto thing, and I was in it for a little bit, but I took everything out. I just didn't trust it.
Good for you.
And it's just the fact that the person that created Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto.
Oh, you're talking about the fairy tale? You see,
yeah, nobody knows who he is.
Well, nobody's grown up in this world. You want me to lay a fact on you? When something exists in this world, you can go look up things about it. Like when a new truck comes, I can look up at the engineers who designed it. I can look up the man who designed the body. I can look up the colors it comes in. I can look up everything. But now we got a magical Japanese dude that is a complete front, because I've actually been told who invented crypto. And while I can't say it because I promised I wouldn't say it, it right. Sure as hell isn't some make-believe Japanese guy. This is a psyop. Let me ask you something. Everyone thinks crypto is a way to get around the Federal Reserve's control of money. They have a digital dollar, right? We read the white paper on it. Two things on that white paper that stuck out to me is with the digital dollar, it'll be nearly impossible to have a savings account. The other thing, it'll be nearly impossible to inherit your money to your children.